This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
Oh, hello, friends. This is a very short podcast. We're going off the rails on this one, but I had a good time listening to it. And if you don't like it, I'm genuinely not concerned. Enjoy.
Michael Clayton, the actor, he wrote a book, like film actors book. I think it was in the 90s or something like that. But there was a term, it was a one-take Jake, where it's like he was really good at like one takes where other actors needed like 2 or 3 to warm up. This was film acting. It wasn't Broadway.
Yes,
so I don't know.
Broadway actors have to do it in one take every night.
But you get months of rehearsal time, right?
Weeks. Similar
Weeks,
to film
months,
actors.
probably the same.
A rehearsal space is more sacred because we know.
And you guys are far away, like from an audience, so nobody can
sometimes.
kind of see mistakes.
Sometimes.
Because a camera's like all up in your face.
Have you ever seen a film actor try to be on a stage?
Have you ever seen a stage actor trying to do film?
Yeah, that's me. Every time I've ever tried to be on film.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, settle the fuck down.
Have you seen this really well done piece of television called Moving for Love?
We're cutting that out immediately. I'm not talking about that shit again on this. God, what a flaming pile of shit that was. And I had such a dickhead smile on my face.
Well,
we're talking
and
about
I looked insane. Talk about a stage actor on camera.
We did reality TV. Oh my God. There were certain times where it was like highly stressful, and then Lauren knew the cameras were rolling, so she like put on this. And then, baby, I love you. How much can I shit on you on this?
Well, it's totally fine. I'm going to shit on you.
Great. So like her voice would change. It's like, and like your voice goes up kind of.
It's
and
very difficult. Like, it's difficult to sit in this room and be transparent with you, right? And ignore the cameras and do all this type of stuff. It is a whole nother level of difficult when you have an entire film crew feet from your face and you're trying to pretend to be thyself.
yeah.
I'm not playing a character where I can kind of go into the character's world. I'm trying to play myself. And they want these authentic reactions, but then they want you to repeat the same reaction 6 times.
And they want the authentic reactions based on bullshit too.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, I want you to be authentic and genuine, but we're going to give you a scenario that's not true or never going to happen. Like, what was it? It was, this is your price range. And I'm like, this isn't our price range as far as looking at houses. Like, can we bump it up to like 1.5 if we're going to lie? They weren't very receptive to that. Very sweet people, but God bless.
They do this price range thing, right? And those who know a tiny bit about the real estate market understand that Long Beach, California, and where we are in Virginia, completely different real estate markets. So to look at comparable houses in the two was hilarious. We would have been in like an apartment with no windows if we were looking in Long Beach at that price point.
I also hated that they took that story of the lock that I did and we recreated that as some type of like ending thing, but we said yes to it, which I didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't like saying yes to things I wasn't comfortable with, but the whole thing before it even started was like, I had to endow this as like, I got to be a team player on this and not fucking like derail or kind of start sabotaging things. It never got to that point because they were genuine people that were behind the cameras.
Ironically, and we will say this forever, the end product we don't like, the long days we didn't like, the team that we had the honor of working with, truly genuine, beautiful people.
Very sweet people.
Like, that was lovely. We loved from start to finish even. So the tiniest of backstories. One day I'm on Instagram, I open up those like blocked messages, like hidden messages, and we have a message from a scout who scouts for reality TV saying like, do you plan to move for love? And I was like, what are you talking about? I thought it was fake. No, it was real. And we actually were. Trey was about to move back across the country to my town here in Virginia.
This was like this was early 2021.
Yeah.
This was like January or February of 2021. We were in Long Beach at the time because it was warm.
Because it was warm. And we were going back and forth. Everything was remote. Yeah, and we just kept saying, at first we kind of thought it was a joke. They sent us a Google form. I was like, babe, should we do this? He was like, yeah, let's do it. Our whole promise to each other was, we'll stop if it's not fun. They're 100% the filming week. We filmed for an entire week, 2 days in Long Beach, and then 2 days here in Virginia with a flight day in between. It was grueling. It was long. It was a great experience for the baby, but wouldn't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway. It was a time. It was a time. I look back and I'm like, we are completely different people too. We are more grounded in our relationship.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I wonder now if I ever would ask you to do something like that.
They'd have to come with a bag. So it'd have to be...
You're just not meant to do those types of days.
Well, I can be meant to do that if somebody pays me handsomely.
And doesn't force you to say certain things. You are so...
That too. One of the things, like, why we're here right now is I kind of pretty much can say whatever I want to.
Right. Yeah. You know the audience, right? It was weird when they would feed us questions that they wanted a certain answer from, but they couldn't give us the actual answer. And you would say eventually, like, just tell me what you want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, that got dicey at the end of day 1 or day 2 in Long Beach, where... Anyway, let's get back to this one.
I don't think we'd do it again, but that was the moral of the story.
Reality TV. Hey, thank you to your client that sent us coffee, that gave us coffee as a present. Now, that's one of the highest honors that you can bestow this household, to give us delicious, high-quality coffee. In return, I will offer my body to you, not my mind. I need to be very clear about that. But my body, I will offer to you. And I'm low carb right now. All right?
Is this like a drive-by on the golf course? Like you're going to be a streaker type of offer the body? Or is this you're offering your body in service?
I don't think anybody wants to see me streak across a golf course. I don't think anyone on earth wants to see.
Also, babe, what if all my clients just start sending us coffee in exchange for your body?
All I can imagine is me streaking, but with like red Nikes and a President Nixon mask. It would be disgusting. Thank you for the coffee. I will give you sex in return. Thank you.
No.
Consent?
Remember?
The funniest thing to me lately, I've been thinking about bullying people into consenting. That's very funny to me. Just keep it a consent. Good. Consent right now. Consent wholeheartedly. That's funny. What are we talking about today?
I have no idea. Anyway, thank you to the client. Nobody else just got no coffee, no sexual favors from Trey. Anyway. I don't know. What do I want to talk about? I don't know.
Life's been good the last couple of
cried
weeks.
last night because I'm so in love with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Do you remember that?
It was. Yeah, I remember that.
What was going through your body?
This is not mine to fix. It was...
I wasn't like...
It wasn't a bad thing
fixie.
either, but like, okay, so this is what happened. So we were going to bed. We're watching The Good Wife right now. Good Wife.
Good Wife.
And we turn it off and we do our like nighttime cuddles. And then Lauren... Because it's dark. It's completely dark and it's time for bed. And Lauren, all of a sudden, she goes, oh, I just got really sad thinking about like... one day, like, one of us isn't going to be there. And in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck? Are you talking about divorce? Are you talking about, like, car accident? What's going on? Like, and then this is very natural in a man. Am I in trouble? and then I can feel you start shaking, crying, not laughing, but crying. And I'm assuming you're crying thinking that one of us is like The Notebook or something, where one of us dies or one of us has dementia or some shit like that. Were you having a Notebook moment, babe?
I was having a very happy moment. Thank you very much.
You were crying, but you were having a death moment. So your happy moment involves one of us dying, correct?
Yeah.
I was
grieving.
You were grieving imaginary scenarios, correct?
Yeah. So fuck you, first of all. Let me explain what was going on. For anyone who's experienced death is familiar with...
Don't yell into the microphone. You can
grieve
so
that
hard. Later. I'm going to grieve editing
you're
this.
Gonna have
Do
to
not
edit
yell
it.
in the microphone.
I think anyone who's experienced death of a loved one always realizes like, oh, I should grieve people more when they're alive, because at people's memorial services, we say a bunch of great things about them. And it is a real sign of love for my people when I get verklempt and am noticing. It was a heaven on earth moment for me right then and there.
Got it.
I felt close to you. It was an ordinary day. I love a good ordinary day. everyone knows if I could craft the ideal day, I would move my body, I would do meaningful work, I would meet with clients and people, and I would spend time with the person I love and make love. And also, I guess, yeah, the baby's going to like Paris. And so I think I'm very aware of things happen on travel sometimes. So I think I feel very aware of potential danger. But also, I had just had such a beautiful day. And it's those days that mean the most to me, not the mountaintop days, just the average little days. And I felt very thankful.
Got
for
it. That's
you.
beautiful. The entire time that was going on for you, I was just going, what the fuck? And just trying to stay still. Do you remember in Jurassic Park where the T-Rex is sniffing around? You just stay still?
Oh, I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell. And I was just trying to say, like, don't let his lack of enjoyment of this moment take you out of the moment. It was my moment. And I knew that it would end. Trey gets to this point when he is done with the cuddles.
Yeah, I gotta.
like knew.
I can't be touched while I sleep. Shout out to all of our projectors out there who don't want to be touched while they sleep.
Yeah.
Stay on your side of the fucking bed, wife.
Anyway, I was very in love with you, and I'm not ashamed.
It comes out in different ways because I was very in love with you this morning, and I rolled over and I put my penis like in between your. Your crotch while you were sleeping. That's my version of what you did last night. So that's my murder death notebook moment.
You have murder death notebook moments.
You had a murder death notebook moment last night.
I know I did. But I don't think that your equivalent is this morning. You also
I can speak for my own. I can speak for my own.
You get them too.
I can speak for my own shared experience.
I swear you got that one on this weekend when we went on our little Sunday morning date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear
I got a thankfulness moment?
Yeah, you get your little
eyes. It was after.
Yes.
It was, after our conversation, I was like, this is the best. It was the best. We were wearing what we wanted to. We were drinking Bloody Marys. Jesus came out of some rocks. We were celebrating that.
This wasn't Easter. This was our follow-up. Easter was 2 weeks ago. This was this past Sunday. It was a ghost town, you said. And I said that's because it's no longer Easter.
Oh, yeah. We did the same thing.
Yeah,
we just ran it back.
We literally did it twice.
We ran it back. No
Maybe
Coors
it's our
Light
new
that time.
Sunday morning tradition.
Yeah, no 24-ounce of Coors Light that time. And I'm glad I didn't. God, I would have been day drunk. Which is awesome.
We had a meaningful conversation. You get them too. I find that you have your murder death notebook moments after open-hearted conversations. I do.
Margot, I'm just so thankful for you.
You,
like that?
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think both of us sometimes are like, wow, we didn't know it could be this good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We did a good job choosing.
Yeah, I've just listened to this incredible book called The Honeymoon Effect. Yeah. I think we did a ton of work on ourselves to be independent in this like container of self, really pursuing the things that we love, living our fullest life. And I will never forget the moment I saw you and my body went, oh, there he is. And it felt like all of a sudden getting to orbit with someone who was on the same energy wavelength as me. And it makes no sense. We're such different people and yet contained in and of ourselves. And so it's like things just like amplify, and it's a blast, honey. It's a blast. I don't agree with you on everything. I don't think you're the sun, the moon, and the stars. You are my person, and I fucking love you.
Thanks, babe.
And I am amazed by you, and watching you to continue to be the man that I knew you were in that moment in the hotel lobby in San Diego is wild. It is beyond wild. It's like continuing to watch a vision board come to life. Because not only were you the man I needed then, you continue to be that human. So yes, last night I was having a murder notebook moment.
That was very sweet, honey. And I like you too.
Yeah. Does it feel... Yeah, are you ever like, wow? Because you were never going to get married, let me remind you. Yeah, is this the marriage that you thought you didn't want?
Like a really good, healthy one? I don't understand. What kind of question is that? I'm just having a murder moment. What's going on? Yeah, I thought I was gonna, but like, it's weird being like the 40-year-old guy who's still single out there trying to sling dick. So that's weird too. No, I never thought I was gonna be, because I've never really seen it modeled, like in a healthy manner, marriage. There's very, very few examples. And then the examples that I've seen, I mean, that's from the outside on the surface. What was the question?
Yeah, you never wanted to get married, and so sometimes I just think about how good you are at being married, and I laugh. Like, that's funny.
Yeah. It's funny how that works out, where it's, well, I mean, love you to pieces, and you're my person. You've been my person for such a long time now. And then marriage also is what is it? It's a commitment, or it's a symbol to the community. That like, hey, we're together.
Yeah.
And it's the John Mulaney bit where it's like, my girlfriend versus like, stay away from my wife. Get your fucking hands off my wife. So,
the irony there.
What?
He wrote that bit right before he cheated on his wife, right?
He was on lots and lots of cocaine.
But isn't that true? Like, isn't that great? I love on
and
this.
she probably wasn't, a walk in the park to begin with. I'm going to defend my guy. Oh. Okay? Mm-hmm. John Mulaney, if you're out there, you do great work.
Listen, we all deserve.
Stay away from the boogers, sugar. Or not. I don't know. It doesn't seem like you can handle it. So maybe just smoke weed.
All the
California
chances.
sober.
We do, but
I do weed and mushrooms.
The
I'm California
irony,
sober.
I have to rip into a comedian who writes a bit like that, and then, it's just funny. It's just funny. It's good. It should be
what?
funny.
Yeah, comedians should be like the moral compass that we all look up to.
They should.
The professional clowns of our society.
No, I just think
that
they should be okay with jokes being made about them because we like jokes.
They're okay with that. Like cocaine jokes?
And you wrote a my wife joke, and then you cheated on your wife. Yeah, it's good. It's a good joke. I made a good joke. So.
When you babe, when you do like low talking like this, are you trying to make like a really like
I'm trying to
prolific point?
Just drive you crazy as you do the sound editing. That is my goal in life.
No, I don't even do it anymore. I just say fuck it. She wants to low talk.
She gets the low talk, and then she laughs in the mic. Wonderful.
What else we got, babe?
No, I think that's all. I think this can be a short one.
Super short podcast. Short show.
Yeah, I want, I think on this podcast we do a lot of like working through our problems, which I think is really necessary. In this Honeymoon Effect book, they were talking about that there's not many examples out there of people who work through the shit while still being loving and kind to one another. And I was like, fuck yes, that's what Trey and I say. Like, we see arguing in the world, right?
We're not nasty to each other.
That's the thing.
That ends relationships.
It does.
I've ended relationships, with
yes. I was abused verbally for a decade. My sweet, happily gay ex-husband was a troll to me. He was so unkind, said the worst things. Why I didn't break up with him when we were dating, I'll never know. It was unkind. And so to be able to disagree with you, to feel into hurt feelings and woundings with each other, because we do this, we are human, but to do it in a way that upholds the other is phenomenal.
Love it.
It really is.
Love it, baby.
I don't know. I get to just be in a murder notebook honeymoon moment
You're allowed
with you.
to. Yeah. I didn't silence your voice. I didn't like put my hand over your mouth or.
Have we ever told that
I didn't
story?
shake you back. What?
Of you silencing my pleasure.
Oh, okay.
Let's close out with that story.
Sure. Can I do it?
Yes, you may.
All right. So on our honeymoon, we're having like an epic like sex night. We're in our beautiful hotel. And
we'd been moved to a honeymoon suite. We had a lovely suite, and then we bumped up.
Jesus Christ, honey. We just sound fucking like elite assholes. Anyway,
this is the point. This is the point. This is why I said that, not to be an elitist asshole.
Okay, so we were next to we were next to a restaurant.
It was this beautiful suite. I was so excited to be there. For those who might know the beginning of the story, I've been married before, and my mom died moments after I was married before. So I'd never had a honeymoon. This honeymoon is a big deal. And so now being in the honeymoon suite was like a really big deal to me.
So Lauren was about to have one of the biggest, loudest orgasms of her life, and she's a bit of a yeller. and it was one of the loudest things I've ever heard in my life. And then I put my hand on her mouth and essentially ruined her honeymoon, her biggest honeymoon orgasm. Is that all accurate?
I don't even think anything started to come out of my mouth. It's like I started to come.
Honey, I covered the noises that were coming out of your mouth. Baby, think about what you just said. Nothing was coming out of my mouth, so I decided to silence.
You just know how I
Think
orgasm.
about what you just said.
I just thought you were anticipating. You think I started making some sound? You
Honey,
told the story badly.
Honey, it was the loudest you had ever been. And all I could think of was like, someone's going to think you just got, well, I mean, the theme of our fucking podcast, murdered.
Y'all, have you ever been silenced mid-orgasm? It's like, I don't even know the equivalent. You're like on the roller coaster. You're starting to have like the super fun moment and somebody just plucks you off.
You're about to have the super fun moment, then it malfunctions at the top. And then you're just there.
It was so weird.
And it's just bad and scary. So I silenced her voice.
It was so odd. The honeymoon suite, for some reason, is right next to like one of the restaurants. And so literally feet away on the other side of walls, but feet away are people having their lovely evening meal. But I had planned this whole day. I had sent Trey away. I had been like, come back, baby. Like, I want to this is like our fun night. Like, I'm going to have all our toys out and be in lingerie and heels and like have such a fun time. We'd gotten in our bathtub. We'd done all the stuff. Like, everybody knows it like leads to this moment. I was so happy. And then I was about to come and Trey put his hand over my mouth. So we reference this often.
So you still came, but it was just a bad cum, right?
I don't think you can call that a cum. I think you can call that like a false start. I think I like started. But then it's like, I know he's not trying to silence my voice. So then I think we still worked to his orgasm. That's great. But yeah, from now on, it goes down in infamy as like, what were you doing? What were you doing? Worst case scenario, people come over and they're like, are you all okay? And we're flushed and have JBF hair and yeah.
So I don't put my hand over her mouth when she wants to like come really loud. I just kind of, there it is.
I'm a big believer in using the vocal cords.
I agree. So I learned my lesson. I apologize. And I haven't done it since, right?
No, but we get good giggles out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Y'all, thanks for coming to this sporadic podcast brought to you by Lauren and Trey. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to work on stuff in your partnership, I hope you reach out to me. You can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult to request a consult of your own. I love working with partners and I love working with individuals to have the types of relationships that they truly, truly desire. Remember, we are no guru. Please take what you like from this podcast, leave the rest. You have a right to informed decision making and a right to self-determination. Have a great day. Bye-bye.